my name is Rich Lee. I have lived here in the San Francisco Bay Area for most of my life. For the past 20 years, I have worked for many local governments on the peninsula. For an equal amount of time, I've also been a freelance musician. In fact, 2 of my college degrees are in music performance. During the pandemic, while I was very fortunate to still have financial security, all of my music gigs evaporated. And as an artist and as a musician, there's still that need and that desire to create. So I purchased this microphone, a used computer, and began to learn how to record music, how to edit videos, and learning from other people. And that allowed me to continue to create despite the circumstances. When we returned to work after vaccinations came out, I was still able to use this equipment, albeit at work, with 80 to 90% of my meetings were virtual anyways. And when I would meet with colleagues, meet with outside colleagues and individuals, they would often remark about my equipment, and they would joke and say that, are you a podcast host? Are you a DJ? And it was very funny, but they planted a seed. Fast forward to about late 2023, I had returned to back to my current agency in a new role, and I asked my boss if I could create a podcast for the city, and she was very supportive. And that kind of started me on the path of interviewing people, getting to know them. And what I've learned over 2 podcasts and over dozens of interviews, it is that everyone has a story, and not everybody has a venue to tell it. And that is one of the empowering things that I've learned about providing a podcast for people to tell their stories. This is my 3rd podcast, one for my city, one for an organization that I've volunteered for over the last 10 years, and now my own. The interest in doing my own really started with the Leadership Council of San Mateo County. This year, I am a part of their Leadership Core program, which is comprised of leaders from all throughout San Mateo County, from local government leaders to nonprofit leaders to members of the business community, all working together to help elders. As a part of the program, one of the primary efforts is a capstone project, where I get to work with other leaders from nonprofit organizations, from the business community, to help other nonprofits, local government agencies in areas that they need input and insights from the cross-sector. The nonprofit organization that I selected is called Retraining the Village. They're based out of East Palo Alto, and they are led by their CEO, Halley Crumb. The first episode of this podcast is me interviewing Halley and her colleague, Hayden. And the primary impetus for providing this space for her is to help her find leaders in the community that can help her make her organization more sustainable and make it a blueprint for taking Retraining the Village and placing it in every single city in California. It is a model, along with other nonprofit organizations that are helping the most vulnerable members of our population that are in need. And Retraining the Village helps veterans. It helps ex-convicts that have been paroled, that really need wraparound services to help them reintegrate into society. And for the past 13 years, Halley has done that. And what you're going to hear in this podcast is learning about the organization, learning about Halley as a person, and the people that she has quite literally given the shirt off her back to help. I'm honored to present this to you, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks.
So how did you get to Retrain the Village?
My mom. Yeah, so we started setting everything up. Technically, Haley picks you up at the gate. You're not really supposed to go see your family, but I had just done 7 years. And the last time I seen my family was right after court, before I came upstate. So I hadn't seen my family in over 6 years.
Were they not allowed to visit you?
I just didn't want them to come in there. Yeah, I knew it would be harder. And then if something happened while they were there, like, my mom would be terrified for me. So it was like, you know, and then keeping stuff from them was hard. But anyways, so my mom called Haley and was talking to Haley about, my mom's like, I want to pick my son up, you know. Haley's like, that's no problem. But it was a little bit of an adjustment. So I go from my mom's, and I thought I was going directly to Haley's house in Madera, but I went to another program house in Madera. But it was cool, like, I sat out front, like, the whole, and I got out July 5th, so it's hot. Well, I was there July 8th, but I'm sitting out front, and I'm sweating. And
Tinny,
yeah. Tinny comes outside, and he's like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, Haley, my mom dropped me off. I'm supposed to be meeting Haley. He's like, well, you're probably not going to see Haley till tomorrow, but you can come inside. And it was cool to see that. Like, I was sitting there all nervous, like, who I'm going to be having to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, they made like 4 different meals in the time that I was there that night.
Wow.
Every time I turned around, ice cream and chili dogs, Frito boats, like, he made fried chicken, like, yeah, just like nonstop eating. We just kicked back. It was really cool because it was like an adjustment, but they made it easier. And they kept telling me, oh, you should just stay here. You should just stay here. Well, I'm from the valley. And Tinny's like, he pulls me to the side and he's like, look, bro, if your plan was to go to the Bay, go there. Because there's opportunities there that you're not going to get in the valley, which is job train is one of them. That's one of the things I was going to talk about, but job train is one of them.
Yeah.
They don't have stuff like that in the valley. Either you go to college or you go to work, you know? And you learn the trade by doing the job. Like,
exactly.
But yeah, it was definitely. Then when me and Haley got to ride up here, which was cool, because I got that one-on-one time to just talk to her and tell her what was going on. And
the testimony itself, in a short version, is that to have finally met him through his mom was already, what are you gonna do with my son? You know, so I get the mother with me, and we spoke for hours. I'm like, I'm gonna treat him, you know, like you would. I'm gonna keep him safe. It's in my environment. I've lived here for all my life, and I just want to share the tools that I used coming out of what we call coming out of the mud. And that school, education, career that's going to last you way longer than this program and parole. Employment, you know, having that structured schedule as soon as possible. And then accepting your environment and home. And I've seen a lot of different programs just like Bombard, or they go to shelters and, you know, how can I say this? It's not a place for someone who's coming out of thousands of people, you know, men.
Yeah.
So we do a man to one man, peer support.
Right.
And the men, for all those years, they have a certain amount of respect. There's a certain order. There's a structure. But they go to work. You know, Hayden's gotten his driver's license for the first time. You know, Hayden is leaps and bounds.
Through a million hoops.
Yeah, and every time there was a barrier, he could call me and be like, "Miss Halley, there's another barrier," and I'm like, "Okay, breathe. We're gonna get through this. What else we have to do? What did the people actually say in order to get it done?" And it was.
And the whole time using her personal vehicle to put a device in, possibly spike up her insurance, having me on it, like everything, yeah.
And that's something that I would like to get to through the interview, like what's in here, right? It's just this giving nature of who you are as a person.
Yes.
People always come in, like we've had like 3 different groups of people that have came in, and she'll take off to go do something or take a phone call, and they'll come up to me and be like, "So what's up with Haley?" Like, "What do you mean?" Like, what is she really like? The lady that you've been talking to for the last 2 hours? The one that probably offered to buy you guys lunch when you guys probably make twice as much money as she does a year? Yeah, that's the person that she is. The one that's letting me use her vehicle to go see my family when it's a 200-something mile drive. You know? Like, that's the kind of person she is. That gives everybody a chance that's been given a million chances and messed every one of them up. You know,
But in the gist of it all, I'm being me. I found me. I found her and I like her. She's pretty cool. And Retrain the Village, I'm living in my purpose. So to wake up and think it's like a weight, it's not. No matter what comes around or comes at us, we're the village. We stick together. I tell you one thing, the respect module to it all is respecting them for who they are today. So we have this thing, and if I do it, everybody in the whole world is going to start doing it. But I tell them, pat the back of your head, flip your hand, that shit's over. Touch the tip of your nose, let's move forward. Whatever happened back then is done. What can we do about it? But moving forward on the scale of you becoming independent. My goal and what I have to do is ensure that I get the opportunity to thrive. That's it. Respect our community, live in our community, but we're not here for you to take advantage of us. None of that. And when I got my plaque for 2023 0 murders in East Palo Alto, woohoo, what? I was like, oh my goodness.
What, 30 years ago?
Yeah, that's huge. And heartfelt, because a lot of the people who pass away, I let them know, right? I'll be like, if that concrete was squoze together, it just bleed out red. It'll bleed blood. You know, especially in the Midtown area and the Mid and on Minalto, in the area where Retrain the Village is saturated at, you know. That was the highest murder rate in that area, right there. Yeah.
Not long ago, murder capital in the world.
No, it wasn't. So, to go from the memories of the people I love, that guns and crack and drugs just came in and separated the whole community, hurts. But to be there in the community healing, it's nothing like it. When his mom spoke with me, I gave her my word. I said, take care of him like you're my own. Everyone's story is their own individualized story. Prison is a place to change. And now that we've started this whole rehabilitation portion of it all, it's really working. It is really, really working. Only had one recidivism in 10 years. One turnaround, one. And dropping the crime rate 300% just by moving into one house. That was crazy. So all of the people in the community would give clothes and just, hey man, these tennis shoes look good on you. And then, Hayden, tell them how they respect you in the community.
The first time I took off down the street, everybody's waving at me. The dude, they have a safe haven on the corner where, you know, people go and they'll play dominoes or they'll play poker or watch the games or just go there to chill and barbecue, just hang out. But it's a safe haven for people to come to. You know, I was walking by and he said what's up to me and he stopped me and talked to me. We talked for like 30 minutes. Never met this dude in my life. And it was like after that, everywhere I went, they're like, oh yeah, you're over at Haley's program. You're one of Haley's boys. Oh yeah. And then like next thing I knew, everybody knew my name. And it was just a trip. Like I never even talked to this dude. Dude's driving by in a car. Hey, what's up, Hayden? I'm like, hi, yeah, okay. Like, but that's how it is right there. Like,
and that's why I respect everyone in our county and everyone in East Palo Alto to the fullest, because it speaks volumes about me. They know I care. They know I love them. They know they can't do nothing about it. I'm gonna love them, stay in good graces. We have our tough times, but we work it out in the village, you know? So that's why we need help. Yeah. I need help. Yes. You know, this part I like. You know, they're like, come out of those weeds. You have to be here in nosebleed section. And what do I say about that? No way. Let me stay here where people are really thriving and getting help. It's my niche, you know. When I say whole person, I don't care. It's not about medicine per se. It's a lot of love, unconditional, you know, and knowledge and stuff. So they be like, where was the camera? Where was the microphone? How'd you know? I just want a board that's going to be productive, that's going to care about a person and not judge them. Because I had to ask God, take that away from me. Take that discernment away. I don't need to work in this by judging a man. However, all the people never knew. I never seen their jackets. See, when you accept money from GO, they give you the whole rundown. So I'm like, I prefer not to. Please, because I won't be able to do what God wants me to do. I won't be able to, as a human being, there is like, oh man, that's bad. I wouldn't be able to get this far after 13, 14 years if I read their jackets, because I would formulate an opinion. And that was my first prayer, was like, no, that's judgmental. I can't. So I pulled the best out of a man. I'm like, here, let me show you this side of you. Because we've been talking about it. And what I tell you, give me 3 things you want to do outside of housing. Didn't I say that, Hayden? 3 things. What's your goal? And what are you doing now?
Doing HVAC training.
There we go. He's like, I'm going to do HVAC.
Start my own company.
Cool. There we go.
Yeah.
And what else?
Supermodel wife.
Can you afford her?
Yeah, I do the HVAC training, start my own HVAC building maintenance company, and eventually get to where I can employ people that are coming out of prison, or, you know, somebody that's hit a hard time and needs that leg up, you know, the hand up that I was given, and give them the opportunity to build something. You know, I do this to make up for the mistakes I've made in my past, because there's stuff that I can't take away or take back that I've done to people. So the best thing I can do is try to help the next person that's struggling and keep them from having to go through what I went through or make the mistakes I made. So
with Retraining the Village, we just received a homeless guy yesterday, and he wanted to do the same thing. So it's like, hey, go ahead, partner with Hayden. You know, he's walking the journey that you're about to go through. You know, and with the stability that we offer, very expensive stability, but the stability enables them to put their bag down, be able to pick up a fork and a spoon, you know.
Have your own bed to lay in.
Yes, and know that the home is so functional that no one has an opportunity, or when I say an opportunity, they don't want to steal. I have a cell phone, you have 2 or 3, so what? You know, it just becomes a no-brainer, because one of the criteria is to save money. Save your money. You know, the boat falls on me, and I'm Retraining the Village. So in the meantime, save your money. So the counselor's like, okay, how much you got saved? They walked away like $25,000 saved within 6-7 months. Wow. Yeah. Your food, buy your food. You know, get your toiletries. I'm watching to see, are you going to buy you a new pair of socks? Are you going to get a new pair of shoes? What are you going to do with your money that's going to help just you? They say people who hurt people. Well, people who heal people, heal people. And that's what we're all about. It's like healing one another and knowing that when times are tough, they don't know each other, but they know now. That's my brother. That's my brother. That's my brother. For me right now, what I need a board. I need a board of people that can, you know, walk into those rooms that I know nothing about. Nothing about them, you know? But I do need help. And that was the hardest thing for me in my adverse, is to say, can you help me, please? 13 years, never asked nobody for anything. Quietly suffering. And that's something that we really need. Someone who's coming in already ready with the talent that they have. If it's IT, if it's board, if it's finances, you know, already ready to spend not much time, you know, hour to a month. You know, that's another portion of the HUD grant that we have. We're able to do a warm handoff to Life Moves and stuff now. And that's the bridge. That's how it's always, I've always seen it for all these years. Let's warm handoff those who are ready, and those who are not, give them enough time to get ready. See, we don't give up. We don't stop. We pivot. And we pivot quick. And it's not backwards, it's ahead. See what I mean? It's something that people very rarely even recognize when you pivot. Because you see it coming, what you're going to do, just let it land on you. I got to give a shout out to my agent Abad. Man, Marvin Abad, that dude been in the city for over 30-something years. When the murder capital was high, and if I tell you 10 years ago he attached to me, and I think he need to be a valedictorian or something high, because he deserves it. He looks after these guys. He trusts my opinion. He don't come in heavy or everybody's a criminal. None of that. Asian Abad's like, you know, Halley. He got to know me first.
He comes by and he literally spends long enough talking about parole to P-test you, check the results, and it goes from that to, what are you doing? What have you accomplished? Yeah. And it's not in a badgering way. It's like, because he knows you're doing good, so he wants to know. When I told him I was going to go take my test for my license, he told me good luck. Mm-hmm. I got done. I said I passed it. I got my test, and he sent me a bunch of like the confetti emojis and stuff like that. Like, that's a PO doing that. Like, You know, I can call him any hour of the day, and I know he's gonna. If he can't answer right then, he's gonna send me a text, and he'll call me back when he can. You know, and if I tell him it's an emergency, he's gonna call me right then. Like, he's done it before, you know.
In this interview, I've mentioned like multiple agencies that are working together: Life Moves, Job Train, Thrive, Safe Harbor. You know, this is a blueprint we've created that can be transferred into other communities that can help other people who are suffering. No one woke up saying they were going to be a criminal. No one woke up as a baby saying going to be on drugs. Nor did they, or anyone didn't have a dream. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was little. What you wanted to be when you were little, Hayden?
The military. That was all the way up till I was 18 and went to prison instead.
See? So we all come with a dream. Let's make these dreams happen. It's not over with. We're just beginning. We never knew each other over that phone. But I didn't judge him. I just said, okay, let's go. And to give a person a chance to change. And forgiveness. Forgiveness is a key. For real forgiveness. Without malice, without strife, without, you know. And then help them forgive themselves. Because that's something that when you go to sleep, it's either a hard pillow or a soft pillow. You know, make your pillow soft. So I thrive to be an example. It's another key. That we have to, I had to, you know, be able to recoup quickly, pivot fast, and to ensure that all of my I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So I can say I'm okay with that. You know, I'm good. That's no problem. Retrain the Village is the village. You know, we reintroduce people into our community. We reignite their childhood dream. And redirect their mindset from I can't to I can, and I will. And you know, so this is a board you want to be on. This is a place you want to be. We still show each other respect. The authority figures, the CEOs, the county, the community. Respect is a huge key as well. Because we all have one goal. It's to live in a safe environment, to feel safe inside and outside of our homes, and to be able to come together when times are, we need the village. We need to sit down at the table. We need to figure this out. We need to know the next moves, or at least create a path that we can coexist with one another without malice, without race, without division, you know, accept people for who they are. So, man, race, this is huge for me. Golly. Whew.
I was mentioning you. I did a podcast for the city, and I was interviewing representatives from NAMI San Mateo. And I didn't know it until they mentioned it during the interview. They said NAMI was born right here in San Mateo County.
Yes.
And so I mentioned that I was working with a nonprofit, and one of their long-term goals is to make it replicable. Right?
Yes.
You want, like you said, this blueprint we have here in San Mateo County.
Yes.
Life Moves, Retraining the Village,
Yeah.
Job Train.
Yeah.
Right? I consider that like the safety net.
That's it.
Right? And so I asked them, like, how did NAMI go from starting here in San Mateo County? They've got 650 affiliates throughout the United States.
All over.
Right, 49 state organizations.
Yes.
So that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. So, yeah.
I look forward to that. Oh my goodness. They're fabulous. You know?
But both both of you, they've learned through life experience as well.
Exactly.
All three people that I interviewed, they have mental health diagnosis.
Yeah.
They've had, family deaths, and through that pain came purpose.
That's where it's at. Greatly said. I applaud you. Through pain does come purpose.
I think that's where you get the most passion from. That's like when I was growing up, my mom tried having me talk to therapists and everything like that. And I couldn't see relating to somebody that read something out of a book and was trying to tell me. And we just had this thing yesterday.
We just had that conversation.
Somebody telling me how to do, how to feel, what to think. When I already know, it really upsets me. But it's kind of like the opposite of this. Like when you've been through it and you've done it, and everybody has their own pain, everybody has their own limits, everybody has their own prisons that they put themselves in. You could be rich and have more problems than I do. So I'm not saying that line does it, but when you've gone through stuff and you've had to overcome it on your own, it builds that character that I think gives you that passion to help other people. Because these jobs are not easy. The outreach isn't easy. Like you think driving around in a car all day would be cool, but it's hard, especially when you see these dudes that are younger than you, like my little brother's age, that they're living this lifestyle and I know what it's going to become, and they just don't want the help. Like that, it really breaks my heart. But you get the passion behind it from all that, and it just makes you want to do better and find different ways to help.
Well, like you were saying, Rich, NAMI comes from lived experience. So that's where we come from, is lived experience. It's okay to identify with a person like, man, this road right here, your mom may have said it, your dad, your grandpa. But coming from someone that you don't even know can just be like, I were you, I was you before. And just that encouragement, and to let them know, hey, we're here to help you for real. Retrain the Village is the village. It takes a village to change one person at a time. And that's what we do. We love on each other. We support one another. So here's the need. The board members that do choose to support Retrain the Village, if you're in IT, if you're in finance, if you're in fundraising, if you have knowledge, or you work as your job in the nursing skill, licensed clinical social worker, being a coordinator, we need your help. It's not as if it's shrinking, it's Retrain the Village is getting larger. Judith Tate said that Retrain the Village should be in every city in California. And that's what we aim to do. We're going to be in every city in California, and we're going to use this model that we have in my hometown where I was born and raised, San Mateo County, to thrive and to change people's lives right at the nick of time. Thank you.